The following program does not necessarily reflect the views of PMLB Media or its sponsors.
Hello and welcome to the program. I am your host, Phatman.
And I'm Little Boy.
And this is our weekly podcast, netcast, for the third week of January 2012. And this week our podcast is brought to you by ourselves at PMLB Media. Actually, if you go to pmlbmedia.com, you'll see that we've opened our servers up to all kinds of ideas. You could start your own business for as little as $9.99 a month. I know other shows have been talking about that too in our little franchise. You can get domain names for cheaper than the big boys.
Yes.
And that's our whole purpose. We want to get as many people out there on this new type medium as possible. So you want to get out there, you want to get your domain name cheaper than, gosh, GoDaddy, who's unbelievably cheap.
Yep.
Cheaper than Network Solutions, whatever. You can come to our servers and buy them. Right now we have them for $8.50 a month plus an ICANN fee, which is very small, a couple pennies. Like I said, you could start your own business. You ever wanted to make a little extra cash on the side? You could start your own business for $9.99. You get your own website. You get your store, able to accept credit cards. You're hooked up with UPS. You're hooked up with FedEx. You're hooked up with everything. We've worked pretty hard at that this week. Hats off to the tech crew. I'm now part of the tech crew. They've taught me so much. I screw up a lot, but I am actually enjoying the heck out of it. So take a look at it, pmlbmedia.com. Just see there on the front, or you can go to pmlbdomains.com. Yep. And that's our servers, and take a look. But Little Boy, enough talking about that. How was your week?
It's been really good, really good. I worked last Saturday, so I actually have tomorrow off. Tomorrow's Friday. We record on Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I have tomorrow off.
What are you planning to do tomorrow?
I got a few things. I'm going to go, of course, I'm going to go to the gym, do a little bit of running. Probably have lunch with my wife at her work. And then I'm not sure. I think I'll go over to my sister's house, hang out a little bit.
So basically, on a work day that the rest of us here at PMLB Media are working, you'll be playing.
It's my day off.
And just out of curiosity, when is my day off?
I'll let you know.
This week we've been so busy again that I said, you know what, Little Boy, you decide what we're going to talk about on the show. So this is a Little Boy day.
Well, there's other things I wanted to talk about, but we're tabling them for future.
Because you always come up with the same thing. But let's talk about something exciting, something interesting, something that's in the news right now. Okay. Go for it.
Looks like Perry dropped out of the race.
Yeah, he did. And you know what? You had to understand that was going to happen. This is where you're going to start seeing people drop out of the race. If they're not within, 10 points of the front runners, they're going to start dropping back. And then what they'll do is they'll throw their support towards another candidate. And the other candidates get a chance to see if they can get up with the front runner if they're not throwing it behind the front runner.
Right.
And
now with Perry dropping out, do you think it was for like the greater good of the Republican Party, or do you think he dropped out and just said, I'm done, this is not going to happen?
Greater good of I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Well, what I mean is it's better for the Republican Party, it's better to have less candidates.
Of course.
So that's what I'm asking. Do you think he did it for that?
No.
Or do you think that he did it because he just, said, I've carried this as far as I can?
I think that, they have political advisors. I think the advisors just said, basically, you just can't win at this point. We gave it our shot. He gave it a great shot. I have nothing against the governor. It just didn't pan out for him. And I actually liked him. Some of his issues I really liked, some I didn't like. You know how I felt about the illegals. He was a little bit easier on them than I liked, but it just didn't work out, so he's moving on, and this is part of the process.
So. You think there's a chance, if anybody gets elected, of bringing him in as a vice president?
What I do like about Governor Perry was he didn't attack that much, so he didn't make a lot of enemies, and I don't know. As a vice president, to be honest with you, I think he's too strong for vice president, and the reason why I say that is, if you ever watch people who usually bring on their vice presidents, except for Reagan, who brought on Bush Sr., but most of the time, like Obama, Biden. You know, I mean, Biden was never a top contender, and Obama brought him on. You never see them really bring on someone who's as strong as them, or someone who is strong-willed like Governor Perry is.
Cheney was pretty strong-willed.
Yeah, but Cheney wasn't ever running for office.
Yeah.
In matter of fact, when he was, he didn't even want to run for vice president. It actually took Bush Sr. to get Cheney to run, to go with him for vice president. But what I mean by that is, I think that Governor Perry's a little too strong for that position. So.
You know, I heard rumors about was Christie.
Oh, Christie would be great.
I know you're a big fan of his.
I love that guy. You know why I love that guy?
Because he looks like you.
Well, there you go. No, because the thing about Governor Christie is, well, he's in a very, he's in New Jersey. And the guy gets all kinds of flack for being in New Jersey, as far as it's pretty liberal in that area, but yet he's able to handle it. And the way he talks to the media is like, come on, you meatballs. You know, I love him. I wanted him to go for president. He didn't. I'm wondering why. You know, who knows? We don't know what these people have in their past. I was kind of curious why. I just don't think that he would be an absolutely perfect vice president. I don't see it. I don't see any candidate asking him to be vice president. I think they would all ask him, but I don't see that he would come into that, no. But again, I hope I'm wrong. I really like him. So.
Yeah.
And?
I don't know that much about him. I remember how much you liked him, which tells me I probably wouldn't. But
no, you would. Actually, you would.
You know, I've seen him just speak a few times, and he seemed like a likable guy. He's, you know, but I don't really know much about him policy-wise. If he was, you know, if he actually was on the ticket for vice president, I would certainly learn more about him. But I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Who do you think's the front runner now?
Well, I don't think the front runner is going to change.
Mitt, you think it's just Mitt all the way?
You know, I have to say that with the reservations I have with Mitt Romney, I just see him going all the way with it.
Well, but I mean, I don't think Newt really has a chance. I know that he still has some backers, and that's who Perry actually threw his support behind was Newt.
Mm-hmm. Well, because to be honest with you, and I know we're going to talk about this later, but I think we should kind of touch on it now. Mitt Romney, he kind of went off the Reagan doctrine, which we're going to talk about, and that is like you're supposed to. It was never, well, it was written in a couple of books, one of the books behind me too, but it was kind of an unwritten law that Reagan had said, if you're in the party together, and he didn't say Republican Party, he said the party, because I don't know if you knew Reagan was a Democrat for a long time. And then he became Republican. So you don't want to fight each other because you're all going for the same good.
Well, you have to fight each other, but you want to try to not bring up the negative.
You don't want the negative.
Say my positives are better than your positives.
Yeah, and you want to say that I'm better than this other candidate because of this.
That's one of the reasons why I always think the sitting president after 4 years has a slight advantage to the fact that the other party running against him, they're all kind of bickering and battling a little bit, kind of showing their each other's skeletons and stuff like that. So, people get to see the worst of everybody.
The good thing is they kind of vet it out early. And because
that's kind of true too, though, because if there's some if there's stuff that you need to maybe do some damage control on, you can do all that stuff before you're actually running up against the president.
Except that we're all supposed to be on the same side. And to be honest with you, and I'm not just saying this because you know how I feel about the liberals, Democrats have done that for years. They've tore each other apart, and Reagan really stopped the Republicans from doing it for quite some time, and then it just started happening again, and I don't know if it's a sign of the times, if it's a sign of the party, maybe because the Republican Party, don't forget, the Tea Party kind of part of the Republican Party is a little bit infighting with the more conservative, straight conservative side of the Republican Party.
There's no real Tea Party guy in this race, though, is there?
Now, Tea Party. See, the Tea Party is interesting. The Tea Party race is they're grassrooting it all the way through Congress and then through the Senate.
Yeah, but they would have liked to have a candidate, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure they would. But they were spawned from the Republican Party, so I don't know if there's really a candidate here. I mean, none of them disagree with any Tea Party ideals. It's just that there's no this guy is just Tea Party.
Right.
I think. You're going to see Tea Party candidates definitely in the next 12, depends, 4, 8, 12 years, you're going to start seeing candidates. Because, you know, if you're a grassroots Tea Party candidate, you need to spend time. Republicans, and this is what's interesting, Republicans, you know, across history, they always have kind of paid their dues. They've started small, worked their way up, most of them. You know,
That's not a Republican thing. That's...
Well, no, because President Obama didn't. I mean, he went from nothing to senator to president.
That's not a Republican-Democrat thing, you know. You're just picking guys right now. But that's not a
Republicans do that more often.
No.
And not no. Anyway.
Yes, no.
So anyway, you're going to see the Tea Party come up that way, and I think in 4 to 8 years, well, depending on who gets in office,
because if there's a Republican, in 4 to 8 years is going to be gone.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, the movement's huge.
Yeah.
The movement is huge. There's so many candidates in Congress that are Tea Party candidates.
Yeah, I think people are going to start moving away from that.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, then what do you see by what gives you that impression?
I don't know. I'm just making a prediction.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you don't actually have any hard facts on it.
Neither one of us had any hard. It's just opinion. It's just what
the Tea Party is growing quite a bit.
Well, I'm not saying it's not growing right now. I'm saying in maybe 5 years it's not going to be.
Well, I tell you, we should come back to that. Hopefully we're still around in 5 years.
Write it down. Write it down.
So anyway, that's what I felt on Governor Perry. So
okay, want to take a quick break?
Yeah, I guess we could.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. We're gonna run an ad, and then we will be right back. Talk about some more stuff.
I think we're gonna put on Simon and Aaron again.
Okay, I like that one.
Simon and Aaron.
All right,
take it away.
I'm Simon. This is Aaron. If you're tired of working for the man, you want to own your own business, you can do so online for only $10 a month.
10 bucks?
$10 a month.
That's a pizza.
That is a pizza. Man. Go to pmlbmedia.com. See how.
All right, that was Simon and Aaron from PMLB Football. They are growing. I know that football season's almost over here, but we're going to do, matter of fact, you're guest starring on their show.
I think I'm going to come on to it in the future. I know that they have plans, big plans for a draft special too.
Yeah, and we're going to have that at a bar here in San Diego. So I know we always talk about San Diego, but that's because we're from San Diego. So our listeners in Wisconsin that I saw on our stats and also send us some emails, keep warm there in Wisconsin. Heard it's a little bit cold, but
sorry about the Packers.
Oh gosh. Man, that was bad. That was bad. Okay, actually, I want to send a shout out. We have a new producer.
Yes.
Yeah, Joe. Joe, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello, Joe. He's in the back room there. Joe has basically
decided to come on and give us a hand. We needed. It was tough producing from in front of the camera. So.
Yeah. So anyway, Joe, thank you very much for coming on. Next week, I'm going to put a camera in your booth.
Glad to be here. Glad to help.
All right. Little boy, let's go on to the next story.
All right. Newt Gingrich lacks moral character to be president, says his second ex-wife.
Have you ever been divorced, little boy?
I have not. I take marriage seriously.
I have been divorced, little boy.
Yes,
and let me tell you what your ex-wife thinks of you. And for all of you 52% out there who have been divorced, and of that 52%, half are men, what does your ex-wife think of you?
Well, now this was the lady that he was having an affair on his first wife with, right?
Well, okay. I mean, if you want to say that, we don't know. We don't know, but I would imagine. Now, I watched a little bit of the segment of the interview that's going to air tonight. It's going to air tonight on Nightline.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and she talks about Newt, his extramarital affair, and also the fact that
Didn't she say that he came to her and asked her that if they could have an open marriage?
They can have an open marriage. I mean, here's what's going to happen. I don't feel bad for her, because you know why? She's going to make a fortune with this.
Well...
So good for her. I don't feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for Newt because he screwed up. So you know what? Whether he said this is true or not, hey, who I feel bad for, which is interesting, is I heard this on the radio earlier today and I was thinking the same thing. I feel bad for the little old lady who's going to be going, it's so funny I heard this on the radio, who's going to be going tomorrow morning to work in one of Newt's campaign headquarters, getting on the phone call, calling supporters, and who's going to get totally reamed out by somebody who only gets what they get from a little news article from a lady who's getting paid a very lot of money to say this.
All of that might be true, but that does not mean what she's saying is not true.
Oh, yeah, but we don't know.
No, you don't.
And the other thing is, who are we to say anything about his affair?
I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just planning on watching the interview and seeing what she has to say about him.
Well, obviously, it's it's an ex-wife, and that's a grain of salt. That's like having an employee who left on a bad note. That's like, and I know as a manager, you have had people leave and they sit there and scream and yell at you and stuff like that. They hate you and they want you to die and whatever. So whether she's saying the truth or not, good for her. She's gonna make a fortune.
I say this a lot. There's two sides to every story.
Right.
And I say this all the time, and it's probably going to be true here. The truth is going to lie. She's going to be here. He's going to be here. And the truth's going to be somewhere right here. Now, I think the truth's going to be kind of over here.
Closer
you
to
think
her?
The truth's going to be kind of over here.
Well, I have a question for it. Why the heck didn't she come out with this 12 years ago?
That's what I was going to say, actually.
Because there's nobody going to give her any money 12 years ago.
I am always a little bit skeptical when you see stuff like this. And, Usually when you see something like this, it's a press conference and Gloria Aldrin's in the background.
Well, yeah, ready to sue,
Which still
and I'm sure she's her attorney again.
Which still does not mean that what they're saying is lying,
Well, true.
But I'll tell you, if you have a case, now this doesn't have to do with the lawsuit. I'm kind of thinking back almost to the Herman Cain stuff. If those ladies that came forward, if you really think you have a case and stuff, my suggestion is, don't hire Gloria Aldrin because she makes you look bad.
Exactly.
I think it makes it look like you're just going for money, and I don't know. She kind of puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth when you.
And she got her big thing with Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
So here's what I feel on this thing. Come forward 12 years ago when nobody was going to pay you a penny.
Yeah.
Okay, then you know what? Then you have more credibility. Now you're going to make millions of dollars for this story. You might want to embellish a little bit because you're going to make that millions of dollars.
It's tough to turn down $1 million.
Oh, I would come out and say, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Offer me a couple $1 million and I'll tell you this guy tried to touch me or something because that's what'll happen.
How do you know I didn't?
Get out of here. But you turn around and it doesn't matter. And that's what happened. She got divorced. How many people get divorced in this country? Over 50%. How many people cheat on their spouse? A lot.
Yeah.
And you know what? It doesn't make any news. But if someone's going to pay you...
He talks about morality and stuff like that, though, and I always... and let me tell you something, and I'm not... This isn't a Republican or Democratic thing. We've talked about... You know how I feel about all politicians anyways.
Yeah, you hate everybody now.
I do.
You really do. It's unbelievable.
But politicians always, when they're running for especially a very important office, they always talk about morality and stuff like that, and have a real hard time swallowing it when these people have, in their past, cheated on spouses and stuff like that. I think, who are you to, first of all, who's anybody to really say who's moral and who's not, But it just rubs me the wrong way. It just does.
And I'm not bringing this up because I'm bagging on him. But when Clinton had the affair, what was I mad about? The affair, or was I mad about the lying?
Boy, you know what? You've talked to me about that recently, but back when that was happening, we really didn't talk politics.
Well, but I wasn't mad at his affair. Whatever, JFK had affairs. I'm not mad about him at that. I was mad about the lying.
And that bothered me too. I'm sure people, if anybody's watching the past episodes, I was not a big Clinton fan when he was president.
Really?
Yeah, we've talked about that before. What, do you not listen to me when you're next to me?
Not really.
I was more of a Clinton fan after he was gone.
Yeah.
Because I never knew what we had, and that was when I was first starting to slightly pay attention to politics, I'm quite a bit younger than you. And,
anyway, on that little bit awkward silence, you want to go to the next story?
Sure.
And do not bring up whose picture I see on your screen.
We can't...
Oh, we talk about that one.
Yeah.
Don't bring up that one.
No, we're not. We already said we're not allowed to. We talked about it.
I don't want to ever say his name.
Remember last week we talked about not talking about him for 7 whole minutes.
Yeah. Oh, remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, by the way, if you're listening to the show, guy who left a message on our thing, which matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and email you our show.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Nice videos that you have inside your bedroom next to your parents, and you have to be quiet so they can't hear you.
We do appreciate you listening.
We do appreciate the listen.
Okay.
You know, and I don't normally do. I didn't want to comment on his thing or anything like that.
You did. You should have gone there.
But you know, it was really funny. I watched his video and he's like, "Oh, we gotta be quiet now. I hate everybody out there, but I gotta be quiet. My parents inside. I'm 27 years old and live at home." All right. Okay. Continue. Sorry. Rant.
Is that yours?
That was my rant. Because
Nick's will put yours to shame.
Jeez. Nick makes my ears burn.
Republican sponsor of bill to require drug testing for Georgia welfare recipients was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. Quite ironic.
You know, well, okay, he was drinking and driving, which is wrong. Right away, throw the guy in jail. I don't care who it is.
Absolutely.
You know, when I was on the force, I was at a train station here in San Diego and talking to a patron, and all of a sudden a car comes flying down the train tracks. I mean, barreling at us on the train track, just barely misses me. The guy, my partner, we were on foot. Chased the guy down, but the guy got stuck on the tracks. Pull him out of his car. Find out he's another cop.
Oh boy!
You know,
still arrested him, right?
Of course we did. I don't care who he is. You know, like the captain deal.
Rules are for everybody.
Rules are for everybody, and this guy follows that same track. You know, yeah. Was I the? Let's see. Were other officers a little upset with me for a little while? Believe it or not, no. You would think we would be. You think they would be.
Somebody comes by almost hitting people. I mean,
yeah, and I had video of the whole thing too, because in the stations here, there's videos, and we all watched it, and you know, everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're lucky to be alive." I said, "I know." I said, and you know what? We're pulling. You know, whatever the captain did to him, I don't know, but I know he took a plea deal. So, anyway.
Well, the funny thing is, we talked about welfare recipients, and we've talked about welfare in the past and all that type of stuff. Now, I actually don't have a problem personally drug testing welfare recipients, but I don't have a problem drug testing employees either. I get drug tested at my work. I don't have a problem.
We drug test our guys here.
I think every single member of Congress should have to pass a drug test as well.
Yeah, why not?
And they don't, do they?
Well, but here's...
No, do they? They don't.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I've not
I don't know,
researched it,
but I don't know. That I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. But, okay, so where do you draw the line? Because I know where you feel about on medical marijuana. It's still illegal. So
well, if it's still illegal, then, you know, I think that marijuana should be legal. But since it's not, you can't smoke it. You can't smoke it, you know. Now, you have a card and stuff. Now,
Well, okay, here's a question then. You have a card, and it's legal in California, but what if you're a... and I don't want to get into weed talk, but what if you're a representative, so you're going to Congress, this is in D.C., it's illegal. I mean, what do you do then?
If it's illegal, then you can't do it. Yeah. I mean, that's the bottom line. Fight to change the law.
But don't fight the law.
But don't, you know, we can go back to motorcycle helmets. That's the easiest analogy to make. You know, fight to change the law. But if members of Congress are not required to take drug tests, why not? We got it. First of all, we're going to go from the assumption that they don't, that they're not drug tested.
You know what's interesting though? I want to go back to. You're right. I don't know if they are or not.
Why not?
Let's go back to this particular bill.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I think that infringes on your Fourth Amendment right, whether you're on welfare or not.
Well, no.
Why should you be drug tested if you're not a convicted felon? If you're not breaking the law?
So you don't think that you should be drug tested for your employment?
No, that's different. That's different.
Well, but the thing is, see, the way I look at it is they're not making you take welfare. If you choose to take welfare, the part of the rule is you have to not be under the influence.
Well, under the influence. Well,
of illegal drugs.
Listen, I completely understand, and I would like to say, yeah, you know what? We need to know. The problem.
It's kind of funny. We're taking different sides on this than most people would expect.
And I know I'm not going on the conservative side, but you know how I feel about laws, and I really like personal freedoms. And drugs are wrong. I'm trying to find a way to say it to make it sound, like I'm not just giving them a cop out. But the people who need welfare, there is a lot that don't really need it and sell drugs and stuff.
Let's move on past that.
But there is people who do need it, and I don't want him using the money to, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is tough.
I just personally don't like setting a law up that says, well, if you need welfare, let's go check a drug test. I mean, what if the person is uses Vicodin, you know what I mean, and they got hooked on Vicodin? Like, because Rush Limbaugh, it happened to him.
Yeah.
You know, I have a bad leg, and I take, well, not Vicodin, but I take another medication.
Yeah, but you have a prescription. That's different.
I understand, but I'm just saying, it's... People can get addicted to it, you know. And
I just find this super hyper hypocritical, you know.
Oh,
even though it
guy,
wasn't drugs. Yeah. Now, here's my other question: should this guy be kicked out?
Kicked out of what?
Of Congress. Of, you know, should he lose his position?
Well, what is the statute in Georgia? Is it a misdemeanor or is it a felony?
That I don't know.
If nobody was injured in California, it's a misdemeanor for a DUI, and a misdemeanor, you should not lose your job over a misdemeanor. But a felony, absolutely, you're a convicted felon, you can no longer vote. Guess what? You're out. Because if you can't even vote, you have no reason being in politics.
Well,
but misdemeanors, I mean, you can get a misdemeanor for anything. I mean, you can get a misdemeanor for throwing trash. You can get a misdemeanor for going 15 miles an hour over the speed limit in California.
Can you lose your job for getting a DUI?
If your job is driving oriented, absolutely. Now, can they fire you for being arrested?
Yeah, that's my question.
Let me tell you, there is in again, I'm only talking about California because I don't know the rest of the states. But in California, if you cause undue harm to your employer, so basically say you are, I don't want to say law enforcement, but say you do something in the public eye, and it causes.
Say you work for Xerox.
Okay, Xerox. Well, actually, let's bring this up because it did happen. The guys from Palm, it got bought out by not Palm, BlackBerry.
Okay.
Which is here in Central California. They were on the airplane. They were on an airplane. They were drunk. They were disturbing the peace on an airplane. They both were arrested for that because that's FAA statutes. They were both terminated because why? They work for the company. They work for RIM, which is BlackBerry. Right. They
was it a work function?
They were on their way to a convention, and they caused harm to the company. And yes, you can get terminated for that.
I have to assume that if I've been sent places for my work, you know, on an airplane and stuff, and I have to assume that I'm basically the second that I go on that trip, I am representing my company. Yeah. And if I go and I get drunk and I get disorderly and I get arrested, I have to assume that I'm going to probably lose my job.
Sure, because you're causing harm to your company, you know, and not only that, not only can you be in California be arrested for it, you can't claim unemployment on that.
Right. Now, don't you think that people who are serving people like this guy is supposed to be doing should be even held to maybe even a little higher standard?
Maybe, but was he doing it on his personal time?
Well,
did it come? But this does hurt the party, and this does hurt what he did because he is in public office.
Right.
But
I don't even think I've mentioned his political party. That didn't matter to me.
Well, he's a Republican sponsor of the bill. So
did I say? I don't know if I said that. Did I say Republican?
You did.
I didn't know if I said
that. So. Do you remember the case that happened here again in San Diego? I'm sorry I talk about San Diego, but it was a city councilman who was messing around with some girl at Cheetah's. And
I remember that whole Cheetahs thing. I remember there's that big Cheetah scandal.
So we are going to have to take a second break here real quick.
Okay.
Just Joe's telling us in an earphone. We'll be right back with you.
All right.
I'm Simon. This is Aaron. If you're tired of working for the man, you want to own your own business, you can do so online for only $10 a month.
10 bucks?
$10 a month.
That's a pizza.
That is a pizza. Go to pmlbmedia.com. See how.
Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulties.
Yes.
Thanks for watching Simon and Aaron again. If you're still with our show. Wow, that was interesting. Never had that happen before. Nice that our new producer, Joe, didn't see that happening.
Yes. He's a producer in training.
I can see him through the glass over there looking at us. Sorry about that. Anyway, okay, so where were we?
Well, we're moving on to next story. Can Mitt Romney stop Newt Mentum in South Carolina?
Tomorrow it'll stop. There you go.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
Well, the thing is, when we were going to talk about this story, the one thing that we had talked about is you wanted to talk about the Reagan doctrine, but as Nick would say, you crowbarred that into one of our earlier stories.
I did.
So, we can talk a little bit more about that actually, because what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that that you should think of the party as a whole, or do you think you should, if you think that you could be the best president, should you not go as hard at your other?
I'm actually interested. What do you think? I think.
I think that you are thinking of the whole party, and you think that you are a Reagan guy, and so you say no, don't.
That's exactly it,
Yeah.
and you've nailed it.
Yeah.
I think what they do is disgusting. I get very angry with it. They're despicable, and Mitt Romney is top of the chain. And let me tell you, yes, I will vote for him.
Of course you will.
And if he becomes president,
You would vote for any of the Republicans. Any of the Republicans.
No.
Any
I
of the
swear to you, there's
Republicans.
one I wouldn't. But anyway, we're not going to talk about it.
Any of them.
Romney, of course I will, but I'll be critical of him too in office. I'd be watching him if he won. I'd be watching him. To be honest with you, I don't know. I know that and I don't want to get on Romney, but the the White House does not want Romney in there to go
Well, I
against
think
him.
Romney has the best chance of winning.
He does.
Think,
I would. He has religious with him. He's got, he's smart. He's also got some socialism behind him because he's got his.
If it was up to me, I'd bring
stuff.
Kane back or have Newt.
Well, because you think you'd have a slam dunk. So, yeah. But can he stop Newt from? Yes. Newt peaked. Newt valleyed. Newt's rising again, and now he has
done.
Perry support behind him.
Not enough.
It's not enough. But then, of course, we said this same thing 4 years ago with John McCain. I mean, not on camera, but McCain's dead. He's dead in the water.
I don't
but
think that he was that dead, though. I don't think.
Oh, he was dead. McCain was down to single digits, low single digits. And matter of fact, I even forgot he was even running at the time. And I never really liked him either. And I remember saying, McCain is pretty liberal.
I know.
But I still voted for him.
And you said you weren't going to vote for him, and I knew that you were going to. I knew you were going to vote for him.
I didn't like him at
I knew
all
you were gonna
until they
find
brought
an
in
excuse,
Sarah.
and that's why you would find an excuse for our other unnamed friend.
I'm telling you, I would.
Who shall
I
not
would
be
take
named.
a picture of my ballot to show you. I wrote in I wrote in Kane's name. That's what it would look like.
Oh man.
And that's what you would see out of me. But I think. Can he stop the momentum? Yes.
Yeah.
Is he gonna stop the momentum? Absolutely.
Yes.
What's interesting to me is, Mitt throws his hat in the ring for years, right? So why isn't he just 100%?
I see.
There's something there people don't like about him.
I see a lot of polls, and they're talking about how much more money he's spending than on the last, and he's not getting any more votes than he has in the past.
Because there's a disconnect. And I don't know if he has figured out the disconnect. I can't figure out the disconnect, and I'm disconnected from him. It's just something about it that I don't like, And I'm going to vote for him. And am I happy about it? No. And you know what will happen, though? There's two things that could happen here. People like myself, although I never will, can go with a third-party candidate. And people... They might go with a third-party candidate.
Do you think a third-party candidate is throwing your vote away?
Oh, guarantee.
Yeah.
Well, it's not never. If you vote, I don't care who you vote for, you're not throwing your vote away. You're doing something that people died for.
Yeah, betting on a third-party candidate.
Fruition? No.
Betting on a third-party candidate, you're not betting on him because you think he's going to win. I think you're almost betting on him to make a statement.
Yeah, that's it. But still, you're doing it. I mean, and I don't care. Ross Perot probably did the country a favor. But he screwed up President HW. And
Ross Perot blew it too because he dropped out of the race and then came back in.
Yeah,
and
I think what's his name? The hair guy.
The hair guy.
Trump.
Oh, yeah. Where is he, by the way? I thought he was going to come back third party. He was talking about that.
You wouldn't come back third party yet. You have to wait. You wait until a candidate is picked. Because if you came back now, you would be running against everybody just like what's happening. So
this is his way of well, first of all, if he goes third party candidate, there's no chance he'll win.
No. And he will destroy the Republicans completely because I would vote for him. Rather than
you'd vote. You just said you wouldn't vote for a third-party candidate.
No, I didn't say I wouldn't. You said.
Okay.
Your question was, would you vote for a third-party candidate? And I said yes. Okay. You said, would you? Well, something about throwing it away, but no, I would.
You'd still do it. That'd be you making a statement.
No, that would be me.
Do you think?
Because it depends on who was the Republican candidate. It would still allow me to vote.
Mitt Romney, Donald Trump with the hair,
Yeah.
Barack Obama.
Oh, Mitt Romney.
Really?
Oh, wait a minute, no. Yeah, Mitt Romney. See,
So you said
that's the best part. That's the best part.
You've already flip-flopped like 4 times.
You know what? When I
less
did
than
that,
10 minutes.
it's a Freudian deal. So that means, yeah, that's who I'd vote for. So that tells me who I would check.
Who'd you vote for?
I would vote for Mitt Romney.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Even though you don't like him.
Even though I don't like him. Well, because I'm upset with Trump anyway. Because Trump, I thought Trump would have been a great candidate. I don't
think we knew enough about Trump. Trump was all talk, and he's but I would like
he
to
took
have
money
seen,
over the presidency, so
I would
that
like
tells
to,
me something.
I would like to see Trump actually in a debate, where you can, throw some stuff at him, where he doesn't just get to make his speeches,
Yeah,
because he can go and he can talk and stuff. But I'd like to see when other people get to throw stuff.
I
at
would
him.
love to see a debate between, and I would really love to see a debate between President Obama and Newt Gingrich, but you're never going to see that. So.
Well, no, because Newt will be gone.
Yeah, you won't see it. You'll see him and Romney, but the thing is, they're both the same. I mean, really, they're the
think
same.
so?
Yes.
No.
Have you seen what Romney has done in Massachusetts?
I haven't paid, like I said before, we talked about before, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention. Because, first of all, they have
The
a
only
Republican
difference is
debate
gonna be-
every other day.
Yeah, they have one tonight too. They have one right
and
now.
so it's just getting tired for me. But I will watch every second of every debate when we actually get to the real deal.
You know what's interesting about that? And we really have to
And
go.
it's not a
'cause we're running long.
Republican-Democrat thing, because when the Democrats were doing that, I didn't pay much attention to it until we were ready to go.
Right. Right, and most people
go
are
time.
like that. Do you know why there's so many Republican debates?
No.
Because there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah?
Yep, there's still a lot of
I
viewers.
should have known that, because money is the answer to just about everything.
Well, I mean,
know?
if there was no money in it, there would be no debates, I guarantee you. And everybody wants to have a debate. Every network wants to have it. Networks are working hard against people like us, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Networks are scared of what's coming, and what's coming, like our
What do you
program.
think? I know we're going over already.
We're way over.
Is the tide turning on that whole SOPA thing?
SOPA right now is not dead, but it is stopped. And after yesterday, which was the kind of national act-out day of copyright of censorship,
Wikipedia made a big, because that's probably the
they
biggest site
splashed
to shut
off.
down.
Yeah, they splashed off.
Google put a big
put a piece
thing
of duct
over their
tape
thing.
across. Twit Network went gray. We were going to go gray next year if they do it again, or next time.
Yeah.
But SOPA is going to affect every internet company.
Yeah.
I think, this is just me, it's more than just the music industry.
Right.
It's more than just the Microsofts of the world.
More than just the movies.
It's more than the movies, it's the networks.
Yeah.
Look what we do. Now we have 5 shows. We have a new show coming online, which is an outdoor show. I could talk about it a little bit. We're just not going to put the name out.
Yeah.
It is a great show. It's something you would see on Outdoor Network or what the heck's the other one? Discovery. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's coming over the internet. So, and also at CES, Google announced that 50% of all new TVs will be Google TV or some type of internet TV. So,
well, this SOPA Act is really just a way for the big giant companies to squash the little guys.
Try
It's
to.
given them, and we experienced a little bit of that in a previous endeavor that we were involved with. I don't want to get too much into it. It had to do with the food industry.
that's true. We got
And,
squished out by Kraft.
Right.
I'll say it straight out, Kraft.
Well, because I mean, you can't compete with the big boys. The
No.
little guys, the system. I mean, we can get onto all this. The system is rigged against the little guy. It's tough, and this is just another blow that they're trying to make towards the little guy. And it is nice to see a lot of people are actually looking at this. It's funny because you hear some people and they have never even heard of SOPA before, but it's nice to see that a lot of people are actually saying, "Wait a second, this is not good."
And
This
Protect
is
IP too.
not
People
good.
want to talk about Protect IP. It's the same
Right.
kind of thing. It's copyright.
Just one's in the house and one's in
Now, what we do is all of the stuff that we talk about, we're media. We actually have a regular media license. We're a media company, and even though it's small, we're under the fair use doctrine. Doctrine. It is growing.
Yes.
It's grown by another employee today.
Yep.
So we're under the fair use doctrine. So they would still have the ability with SOPA to shut our broadcasts off. I mean, we have our own servers and our own network, but 90% of our views, I would say, maybe a little less, well, not of our views, of the other show's views, are on YouTube.
Right.
Which is a privately owned company, you know. So if they wanted to shut it down, all they'd have to do is send a letter. A copyright holder would send a letter to Google, to Yahoo, or to, not Yahoo, excuse me, to YouTube, and say, hey, we want that off. And they had to pull it off.
And it would be our responsibility to fight to get it back.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before. We don't have a legal team. You know,
No.
it's the little guys don't have that. The big guys do, and the little guys don't. And it's just their way of squashing the little guys.
Yeah. So.
And we need to fight, along with the other 99%.
No, they're not fighting for SOPA.
Yes, they are.
I wish they were, but they're not.
Us.
So
I
listen,
guarantee you
we're
they're
40
against
minutes
SOPA.
into this show. It's too long. We needed to cut down to 30.
Yeah.
And we actually have to try to get it down to 23. I know you guys want us to anyway, but it's not going to happen.
Eventually.
You could always get in contact with me, myself, or Little Boy. You can get in contact with me at Phatman at Phatman and Littleboy.
I'm at Littleboy at phatmanandlittleboy.com.
.com too. You can get to me on Twitter at Phatman Show. I'm sorry, I'm not tweeting very much.
I'm at LB Host, and I've been tweeting quite a bit, and I've been picking up followers quite a bit.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Sorry on the internet. You know what? Now that we have another person in house, we'll try to work on our internet a little bit. I get quite a few emails, you know, why we're not updating the internet. Both of us kind of browse the internet to all different articles, find what's really kind of relevant to what we think about, put it on our website, and people like that. But it's been kind of slow go. So
I got an idea to maybe change my section. We've talked about it a little bit. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, maybe next week you'll see a little bit of a change. We'll have to see.
you can try to do a blog.
Yeah.
You can always email us, or you can always call us at
858-522-9164.
And if you have a show idea, please contact the producers. So it's producer at pmlbmedia.com. Don't forget to go to pmlbmedia.com or PMLB domains, excuse me, to get your domain address, start a website, start a blog, do anything you want. You can get websites for, they're all the way down to $3.99, which ends up costing us money, but we want as many people as possible to have their own blog.
And be part of our family.
Then be a part of our family and fight SOPA with us together by getting your own blog.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And we will see you real soon.
Take care.